Okay, let's get started. We're going to begin with the discussion on Senate Bill 112. It's cross is 295, and then Senate Bill 652, which is cross, is 1226. 295 doesn't appear on the list, but we do have it in our possession. So, why don't we start with that, with the 295, 112. My goal here is to make sure everyone understands these bills and also understands what is similar or dissimilar about that with the other set of two bills that I mentioned. Okay?
Senate Bill 112 is cross-filed with House Bill 295. House Bill 295 came across with the amendments that the department requested. This is a departmental bill that prohibits a person from operating, conducting, or promoting an interactive game in the state. An applicant for or a person holding a specified gaming license must annually report to the State Lottery and Gaming Control Commission any business relationship with specified others that are known to support, operate, conduct, or promote an interactive game. The amendment on this bill added knowingly. A person who knowingly violates the provisions are guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by imprisonment for up to 3 years or a fine of $10,000 to $100,000. And the State Lottery Gaming Control Commission must deny the person's license application or revoke a license held by the person. Those were the amendments, the only amendment.
They were related to these other types of games, right? The Candy Crush.
Yes, there were questions that came up in reference to whether a game was like Candy Crush would be included in this bill, and the department responded that it would not. That the three factors that were involved that would fall under the bill required consideration, chance, and reward. This bill also excluded fast food sweepstakes where if you went into a restaurant and they had some kind of a game going on, that was excluded from this as well.
So those were the House amendments.
Yes.
Okay. There's also been this discussion about whether skill-based games were included. And what I think I heard from Lottery the other day was that already in existing law, they are permitted, but they evaluate those upon the request of whoever's going to run those. That's accurate? Okay. Yes.
So are the, I guess, how does that process work? Is everything illegal until somebody asks? How does that process gonna work?
We're gonna ask the lottery to come up.
Good afternoon, Jennifer Beskin, Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency. Thank you for the question, Senator Bailey. We evaluate the games that are out there, and we look to see whether or not they're meeting the requirements of consideration, chance, and reward. And if we determine that they are, and the ones that we mostly look at are, if you're looking at a game and all the gaming offerings are offering casino-style games and live dealers and meeting those considerations, and those are the ones we start with. As I've stated in testimony before, of the thousands of games that are out there and being offered, we have identified 89 entities that are in violation of what we determine to be legal gaming in the state and the illegal online operators, and that's what we've started with. We look primarily for casino-style online gaming that requires consideration, chance, and reward.
I greatly appreciate you working, and you've helped us with issues, but it concerns me when you say this is what we've started with.
So there's conversation a lot, and it's come up recently about the difference between a game of chance and a skill-based game. So a skill-based game is supposed to be that you and I are playing against each other, and anybody else at this table is playing against each other. When we are looking at the games, what we're finding is that some of the games are playing against bots. A bot is artificial intelligence or an artificial, entity that's playing the game. That's not a skill-based game. It's not skill if I'm playing against something that's programmed to learn against me or to play in a way that it does. And so when we see a game like that, that would be a game that we would look at. So there's a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of discussion about what is what. So we're looking right now because we're trying to put our arms around. The last time I searched for not illegal, but online games that meet casino-style games, 99,000 apps popped up in my phone the last time I searched. So when I say starting with, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean, So the ones we're looking at are the casino-style. They meet that requirement. The discussion that's come up in the conversation has been whether something is skill-based or chance, and that's where criminal law 12113 is very helpful, because if an entity wanted to come forward and say that we are skill-based, not a game of chance, the commission could take a look at what that is and listen to any arguments against it.
So maybe we could take this offline.
Sorry.
Could I just hold this for a day?
Yeah, we weren't going to move any.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
We're not going to move the four of them. We're just going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The skill-based and chance, how are they specifically defined? How they can, because, when you get all these games, and I buy a phone, there's a bunch of games already on there. You can download games, you can delete them, you can whatever. But how are they defined in a way that you can say this is just a chance and, well, this is skill? How can you definitely define them? Because they can change.
So if you look at both Senate Bill 112 and House Bill 295, and House Bill 295 is the one that the definition was updated to say illegal interactive game. That's what we're looking at, because as I've said before, when I first started, we were looking at sweepstakes games. Now we're looking at prediction markets. Now we're looking at social plus games. That was a new term that was introduced this session. Every time you turn around, somebody's going to come up with a new definition. So we started with consideration, chance, and reward. And now entities have come in and have said, well, we're skill-based, we're not chance. So there are some criteria and some benchmarks that we can look at. And we can look at, am I playing against another player? Because that's really what the skill is, as opposed to, am I playing against a historical score from years ago that got grouped into whatever pool I'm playing with? Because that's not live to live, that's live to a historical score. Right. That would be a game of chance. That would not be skill-based. Am I playing against a bot? That would be a game of chance. That would not be skill-based. So there are some criteria there, and I expect that as this evolves, because again, when this body authorized gaming 16, 17 years ago, it was brick and mortar. We weren't looking at the illegal. So I believe as this continues to evolve, we will continue to establish very clear-cut criteria about what is what. So this bill is the start to what is chance versus skill-based and everything else that's been thrown at us this session.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Senator Augustine?
I just am curious about if someone who's breaking this law and how you finding them, is that part of this search process that you're talking about? And then if you do find them, because it's all internet and everything else, can they just change and show up as a different person, or how do you manage that with your violation structure and all that stuff?
So thank you for the question. First of all online gaming in Maryland is illegal, except for the 14 licensed mobile sports wagering operators and the 12 licensed or certified fantasy sports operators. So, and I may have reversed those numbers, but 26 26 are licensed and approved. All other casino-style gaming, poker, table games, slots, all of it are completely illegal in Maryland. They are not authorized, but they are operating because there is nothing by which we can stop them except to issue cease and desist letters.
Okay.
And so this bill is a start at going after operators who have come into Maryland, who are accepting credit cards for play, who are not paying taxes to the state, who are generating revenues. At the last that we looked at, generated $623 billion in revenues across the nation last year.
You said billion?
Billion.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, that's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Other questions? Just to get the couple members who weren't here, we're looking at Senate Bill 112, House Bill 5, and what we were just talking about. We're also talking about 652 across 1226. Ask to hear about the difference between those two sets of bills. I'm not going to go over any of these today. We can have a discussion about it. There's no more questions on 112. We'll move on to Senate Wall's record. Tell us about that.
So House Bill 1226 and Senate Bill 652 are cross files. The bill prohibits a person from knowingly operating, offering, conducting, engaging in, or promoting illegal online gambling in the state. A person who violates this provision is guilty of a misdemeanor and subject to fines and/or imprisonment. The Office of the Attorney General, acting through the Consumer Protection Division or a prosecuting attorney, may issue a written cease and desist order to any person who violates the prohibition. And additionally, OAG may issue a written cease and desist order to any person to discontinue its support of illegal online gambling within the state, meaning that if a transaction occurred and a bank card, MasterCard, is being used in the process, then they can also ask the bank to cease from participating with that vendor. A violation of the bill is an unfair, abusive, or deceptive trade practice under the Maryland Consumer Protection Act, subject to the Act's criminal and civil penalty provision. The House bill was amended. The amendment on the House bill just made sure that everyone understood that a person may not knowingly operate, offer, or conduct illegal gambling in the state, or they can't knowingly support directly or indirectly the operation of or the conduct of that gaming.
So I'll ask the lottery, is there any different, does that provide any more regulation, authority, anything compared to 112?
So House Bill 1226, Senate Bill 652 picks up where 112 and 295 end. We at Lottery and Gaming have the authority to send the cease and desist letters. As was stated, there are some fines and penalties that are in 295, but we are not a law enforcement entity. So if there was going to be any pursuit of individuals who were acting beyond the cease and desist letter, then that's where 652 and 1226 pick up. They speak to the authority of the Office of the Attorney General and other penalties, the going after the processors. So credit cards cannot be used for gaming for the most part in the state, and yet online operators may accept a credit card as payment. So there could be additional enforcements and penalties against these operators who are doing payment processing for something that's already determined illegal. So it really is, it starts, the bills merge with the agency may identify entities that are going to receive cease and desist letters. We do that in conjunction with our office, with our assistant attorney generals at our agency. And then once those cease and desist letters go out, if there's going to be any prosecutions, that goes beyond what the authority of the Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control agency is, and that's where 1226 and 652 pick up.
Has the department taken a position?
In terms of,
Those bills?
we support them. We have submitted letters of support.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about everything they've heard on any of these bills? You can.
I've been away for a little while here, and probably it's already been discussed. Can you give me examples of illegal gambling? Give me an example. What is considered illegal gambling?
Thank you, Senator Benson. So the bill is specific to online illegal gaming. So if I can open up my computer.
Just online?
Yes. If I can open up my computer or I can open up an app on my phone and I can create an account and I can fund that account with money, whether I do a deposit through my bank, whether I do it through a credit card, but I can fund an account and I can place a wager on the outcome of a virtual slot machine, on the outcome of a blackjack game, where I can play a game, where I can connect with a live dealer who can actually do a poker game for me while I'm online. So I've placed a wager. I am taking the chance of playing that I may win. And then at the end of that, I have the potential to receive a reward, and that reward is cash payout or something that can be converted to cash. That is illegal online gaming.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'm beginning to worry just a little bit about gambling, period. I've been following, I've had some time to do a lot of reading. The data as it pertains to college students and our youngsters is on a significant increase. It's almost off the chart. Mr. Chairman, that worries me.
I understand. We have a strong and healthy
really
relationship
does.
with the Centers of Excellence on
The
problem
data
gaming.
is- I mean, the percentage of children participating, not good.
Okay. One thing, last thing, and it relates to the other one, just want to make sure, I know you've said this before, but I'm going to have you say it again. As it relates to the first bills, set of bills, and the amendments that were put on by the House, games like Royal Kingdom, Candy Crush are not considered gambling.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. We're going to
Thank
move
you.
on to Senate Bill 213, and its cross is 193, which we heard today.
So it'd probably be easier to work off House Bill 193. You should have a reprint on your desk. You heard this today. This is a bill addressing a number of issues in procurement. Broadly speaking, it adds new provisions related to debriefing requirements for unsuccessful contractors. It clarifies that certain types of outreach are allowed. It addresses as the sponsor had indicated, addresses the concern from last year related to contract modifications. Instead of requiring them, the bill as amended in the House authorizes requests for contract modification due to changes in state law that are being applied by the unit. And then the bill also is consolidating protest and contract claim procedures. It's also extending the recovery window under contract claims, and then it's clarifying the bill's prospective application. There are 3 additional amendments that have been discussed. The first is on page 2, related to the debrief provision, and it's just striking the phrase "that has been requested." This is on line 23. Just to clarify there that the information that's being provided in the debriefing is just providing more certainty in terms of what the unit is required to provide. The next change in the amendments, if you turn to page 8, down at the bottom of the bill, starting on line 25, this new designated subsection H. These are provisions related to the window of recovery where it can reach back prior to a claim being filed. And this was as written, it was creating some confusion. And so had some discussions with DGS and MDOT, and it seemed the simplest approach was to just have the changes apply, adding 30 days to each of these procedures rather than changing the existing process. So on these, the amendments retain the existing process for that look-back window while adding the additional 30 days to each of those. And then the final change was just altering the bill's effective date from July 1 to October 1 to give a little more time to implement these changes. I don't know if anyone has any more questions about particular provisions.
So Senator, you're happy if we put both the bills in the same posture based on all those amendments? Does anybody have any questions in that regard? All right, so we are going to vote on both of those bills, the House and Senate Bill 213 and House Bill 193 in the same posture as just discussed. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Senator Young, Louis Young. Okay. House Bill 161. Now, they made changes on this. I can jump in a little bit on this. This is the service station one. We had conversation the other day about this, and we talked to the sponsor, the Senate sponsor. He's comfortable with the amendment changes. So I would suggest that we vote in favor of this bill, 161, and whenever we get back the other one, we'll conform it.
Move favorable.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Senator Augustine. 600, we heard this today. It's a local bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? He's not even paying attention.
Can I hold 600? I have some questions about that bill. All right, we're wasting time.
All those in favor of 600? Aye. Opposed? Senator Bailey. Thank goodness.
Took the opportunity to give you a follow-up. I know. Hold it.
Let's go to 604 right now. This is the binding arbitration bill. Other changes? No? Nope. Same posture, both bills. We already sent it over and they voted, or they support. They sent this over from where we left it.
Okay, is it on this list?
Yes, right. 604.
Oh,
Yeah, House Bill 604, it's an exact match to Senate Bill 28 as passed by the Senate.
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? 604. 2. You got that? Just a 2. Or 3? Two.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you got to pay attention to it. Okay. 2 opposed. Okay. And that's Senator McCray. Okay. This is the cross on the judicial compensation, 608.
House Bill 608. There is one difference. The House added a provision that would set the annual salary of the chairman of the Workers' Comp Commission to be at least equal to the salary of a chief judge of the district court.
Anybody have any feelings about that? Okay, we'll support, we'll vote that, and then we'll have to do ours. Or is it gone?
Yours is already over in the Senate. The Senate
House.
version did not include that, so
Right, so
I'll check and see if they're, I
Send
assume
it
they'll
back.
amend it.
They'll amend it.
608.
608. Okay? All in favor? Opposed? I got that one. Okay, raffles, where are we on that? Is it in the same place?
The amendment, you have an amendment on your desk, and the amendment puts House Bill 717 in the same posture as the Senate bill, which was Senate Bill 538, as it passed the Senate unanimously.
Antonio special. Always like a sunset. Full favorable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, they're conforming to the House. That, we're conforming the House bill to the Senate bill.
Okay, Senator McCray. Yeah, 717. I think we'll, I guess, hold these next two just because Senator Hellman had to leave. 1540.
House Bill 1540 makes permanent mandated appropriation for the University of Maryland Capital Regional Medical Center, formerly the Prince George's Regional Medical Center. The bill also repeals 2028 termination date for other provisions related to the transition and alters related findings of the General Assembly.
Okay, it's pretty critical to keep things moving over there. All those in favor? Opposed? Like to do that, Senator Benson? Okay, last one for today, 261.
House Bill 261 would establish competitive proof of concept procurement as a method of source selection and expanding the scope of the procurement to include all phases, including full implementation. There is an amendment on your desk. There was a question raised at the hearing. The bill, as introduced, contains authority to exempt a competitive proof of concept procurement from the small business reserve. The amendment on your desk would strike those provisions of the bill.
Okay. We are on 261.
It's not a reprint because it's just striking, yeah.
Do you understand what it does? Okay. Okay, as amended, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Senator Augustine.